Hey everyone, this is Noble Artist here, and today in this video I'm bringing you another one of my Stormtroopers. This is from the Battle Pack, the Shadow Trooper Battle Pack, which is actually, hold on. This is from the Shadow Trooper Battle Pack right here. I did a review on this last Sunday, so if you didn't see it, go check it out. Cool review. Cool set, really awesome. I really do love these figures. I've never done one before, and about halfway through, probably more than halfway through making this figure, I was like, hey, I'm going to Google what a Shadow Trooper looks like. And let's just say it doesn't look anything like this, other than the fact that it's mostly black and dark gray. But there is two different versions of it. There's a Stormtrooper version, and then there's the Clone Trooper version that I'm assuming is after the fall of the Jedis and the Stormtroopers, or the Clone Troopers, as they're morphing into the Galactic Empire with the Stormtroopers, that they had this armor scheme developed. But I could be completely wrong. I'm just guessing because I saw two different color schemes on two different types of clone. There were the Stormtroopers, and then the actual clones had them. So this is kind of a hybrid in between all of that goodness. And if you couldn't already tell, that this figure does have ray shield armor, which was invented by moi on my heavy gunner. That was the first time I used it. If you haven't seen that, go check that video out. That video is awesome. It's a really great custom. By the way, that's also back up on eBay. So go check that out. Put a link down in the description. But anyway, we will get on to this review. I'm going to show you before and after for this figure, but I'm going to do that after the video. Actually, I'm going to do it now because I tend to forget. No, I'm going to do it later because then you'll be able to see everything. But one thing is different with this guy. I did paint the eyes red because before I Googled it, I was like, oh, maybe they have red eyes. And they actually do. The clone version of the Shadow Trooper has red in the visor, not this type. The Stormtrooper version has silver. As you can see, I painted silver in his eyes. So that's the only difference between this one. But this is the one that hasn't been modified. So he goes back there. I'm going to take the gun out of the hand. This is just my standard clone weapon, or my, I guess it's any kind of trooper weapon, but I did do a couple things different. I made a different size clip, and then the scope is different, and then I did some paint changes. So we'll get to that later. Moving on. So with this figure, with this Shadow Trooper, I decided to put the boots, got the metal boots down here. Actually, I'm going to scoot him up to the front row. Okay. So he has the boots here on his feet, and then my traditional armor. Now, the thing about this armor that is different than the other armor that I make, and then the armor that we make in the future is going to change too, because the metal that I have, or that I had, was this silver type metal, and it was very malleable, very easy to bend and move and cut. And I had the exact same type of metal, if you can call it that. It's for the same purpose. It came in the same packaging, the same name, everything, but it's bronze. I'll get some out right here. It's in this bronze color. So all this armor is this bronze because I ran out of the other type. Now this armor, or this metal, is like twice as thick. Now when I say that, it's still malleable, but it is harder to move and it is thicker. It's not like terrible, but it is noticeable. So just an FYI, when I do more of my battle packs, because I'm out of the old metal, they will be in bronze. So I might have to update my picture, but for the time being, the picture is going to show it in silver. So just keep that in mind. So with this knee pad, what I had to do was, I will make a tutorial on the ray shield armor because it is pretty awesome. But this is actually a piece of metal, and then there's another material that's on top of that. It's this plastic material that I use. That is on top of that. So that's two layers. So, and the reason I mentioned that is because that black little imperfection right there is because the black paint that I outlined this knee pad with, the black paint seeped through those two layers and got in there. And there's no way to really change that unless I started all over from scratch. And I was already glued on, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to leave it on there. It's not the end of the world. And it may be like a little hiccup in this armor. You can call it whatever you want, maybe some battle damage, etc. But I'm going to leave it there, but that's just what that's for. I did leave the printing on the legs because it looks really awesome. As you can see right there, it has some really good printing. I did not paint underneath the arms, which I normally do. I paint them black, but because the armor is black, I figured, hey, why not? Might as well leave that cool color showing through on the arms. But moving up a little bit closer, we have 4 packs of here on the chest. Now, if you didn't see my tutorial, my last tutorial was on how to make these belts. And I used the same plastic that I showed you for that video. This is actually the same torso that I was using in that last video. I believe I put 2 of these on, and then this thermal detonator right here on the side. I just added the rest of them, and then I painted them with black, and then this gray actually had to mix black into it, so it's a little bit darker gray than what came in my Testors paint. I do use Testors model paint for those who want to know. I get a lot of questions about paint. I got this at Michael's. It was like $1, $1.50, something like that. Really awesome paint. It's very good quality. It's for modeling, so it's going to last you quite some time. Of course, depending on where you put it. If it's going to put it like somewhere back down here where you get handled a lot, then it might not hold up as long, but it is great paint for that. I put a little bit of yellow on the end of this thermal detonator, as you can see, for the button right there. They're normally red, but I've seen yellow ones, and I have a lot of red already, so I went with that. And then for the chest, I left this chest printing here because it looked really great. Now, I do have some really cool ideas to do with this type of armor. I had 2 ways I could have gone with this, but I decided to put this kind of neck guard up here, which looks really awesome when you take the helmet off, which I will go ahead and do so. Get that back into focus. Now, this is a piece of fabric that I have underneath here painted black, and then 3 more of these Ray Shield armor stripes just to give it, just to accent the figure more, and I think it looks really awesome the way that turned out. Really cool head, by the way. This is the one that it came with, and it's really cool. I like the facial expression. I can't tell if that's, yeah, that's part of the printing on his forehead. He has got like a little dot on his forehead, but it's part of, Lego put it on there, so I leave it. Get this back into focus, and we will move right on to the arm. I'll get to the helmet last. But the arm here, we have, you might not be able to see it, but he does have the gauntlet right here on his hand, but it is painted black. And then he has a little communicator right here, which this is also part of the Ray Shield armor. This metal is actually a single sheet of the metal. I just went over it with my red marker. So it's metal, basically it's the painted metal. I didn't put the two-tone there just because it would have been kind of bulky, and it looked great just by using that. And then I have the little thin strap here that holds the shoulder pad, or sorry, the elbow pad on, and then another piece of metal up here closer to the shoulder. Moving on to the side really quick, I do have a pistol holster. I haven't put a pistol on a clone in a while. Stormtrooper, same difference. They were, you know, one and the same for a little bit. And then he does have the pistol, which is really nice. This is my Jango Fett style pistol, which is really cool pistol, and it fits really well in this figure. It doesn't stick out. It's not bulky. And it does look really awesome, so that is on the side. I'll take that out later when I show you guys the gun. Moving on to the shoulder pad. I'll move him back because now he's too far away. The elbow pad here is accented with gray, got some gray stripes, almost like a Tron stripe theme going on these elbow pads here. Get this back in the focus, come on. So you can see how the other one right there has the same stripe on it. It has the same armor on this side, as you can see. And then of course these do have a little black line running through them just because I thought it looked cool. But before I get to the back, because these kind of wrap around, I have here, I did have 2 of these at one point, but 2 of them just looked too much. I said the word 2 like 20 times right there. So I put 1 of these metal sashes here. Now I did put some black in here so that silver would kind of break up a little bit to look a little darker, because I didn't want it to be like a bright brand new silver, because he is a Shadow Trooper, so this needs to be kind of a duller silver color, which I think turned out really nice. And that wraps around to the back, which connects to the back right here, which he does have the thermal detonator. And then, try to get the right angle. It looks really shiny with this lighting. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the paint dried funky, but he does have 2 ammo packs on either side of the thermal detonator. And then the backpack, it does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pieces connected to it. And I left this one gold because I really like the color that it gives. It kind of gives this nice pop to the backpack. And then these are just accented with blacks and grays for the rest of these pieces. Now from the side, or from the back, it does look really awesome. It sticks off the figure just enough. Doesn't get in the way, but it looks like he does have some cool gear on his back. So yeah, and the light coming from my window is helping a lot, but it does change the color a little bit. So yes. And then the shoulder pads. These 2 shoulder pads are very awesome. I wanted to keep both of them the same. And they are just a single piece of this material that I had to bend several times to get it to fold like that, because it is a stiff plastic. If you can see those little itty bitty white lines going through it, those creases, because I had to bend this metal, not metal, I had to bend it in order for it to get like that, to keep its shape on the figure, which was kind of hard to sculpt, but it does give it a really nice effect, which I do like. And then I just accented it by outlining it with black paint, black testers. And then they are, of course, the see-through. If you can see right there, you kind of this glow to it, which is really awesome because it is ray-showed armor and it does have this kind of holographic effect to it. And then for the helmet, which is really, really cool. I do love these helmets. I did paint all of this in here black. It was like different printings, but I painted it all black. Put 2 silver dots on either side just to kind of make it more realistic, I guess. For the side, I did paint this with the darker gray that I mixed that goes for the rest of this figure. And then I put the same gray up here and these 2 cavities on the helmet, and then another piece on that side I painted. Then 2 antennas. These are painted black with a, oh snap, I just smacked him with my tweezer bees. The antenna is painted black with 2 silver tips on either end or at the top of them. And then the top of this helmet was kind of tricky because it does have this weird face mask thing, how it's all gray and white. So I sanded it down to a little bit above that line where the black line is on the helmet right there. And I tried to use an eraser from a pencil, which, by the way, it's a long process. Now, I think my pencil sharpeners were just really old. I'm not mentioning pencil sharpeners, my erasers are probably really old, and they were falling apart like crazy. So I got as far as I could, and then I just put black around the rest of it, which I think looks really good for this figure. So I got it down to a certain point, and then I painted black all around this helmet. And then I did leave that part there because I like that bluish color. So I think that looked really good for the helmet. And then more ray-showed armor. It's almost like a mohawk for this figure, which I was trying to figure out where to put it, if I should go back farther or closer. And I kind of put it sort of in the middle, which is a good compromise, and I do really like the way it turned out on this figure. Now you can see a little bit of stuff seen through there between the layer of metal and the layer of plastic, was because I didn't want to put too much paint on it to cover that up, because I didn't want a repeat of that on the bottom, on that knee. I didn't want that to happen up top here, because I would not be able to correct it unless I remade the whole thing, which I wasn't about to do because it took a while to make. And then when I glued it on there, the glue dried really fast, and then it got off-center just a little bit, but again, I would have to have ripped it off the helmet, and it just would have been more trouble than it was worth. So it's off-centered a little bit, which is kind of annoying for me, but it's not so bad that it looks terrible. And of course, from the front is actually straight. It just, when it goes back, the back half is off just a little bit. So all in all, it's a really cool helmet. I did paint inside of the eyes, like I had mentioned. They were black. I painted those silver because the Stormtrooper version of the Shadow Troop has silver in the eyes, and this guy I painted red by mistake, but I can always paint him silver. So, whew, non-stop talking. And then he does have a neck guard because that's awesome, and they all have one. So, that is that. And then for the weapons, of course, I will show you. Give me your gun. Relinquish the pistol. Okay, so he has this really cool pistol. My Jango Fett style pistol, which is really cool, really awesome, really sleek. It looks cool in the hand. Might as well. Beep, 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 beep. Bow, 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 bow. Really cool pistol. And then the gun, which is really awesome. Basically what I did for the gun that's different is I gave it a wide clip instead of a thin, narrow clip. Their guns are basically the same. They're just a little bit different from the regular clone weapon, like the Shadow Troopers. So, oh, come on, focus. I did give it a longer barrel, not a longer barrel, I'm sorry, a longer scope, because I liked the way that this scope looked, and I just accented it a lot with some color, put some yellow on either side of the scope. Oh, please focus. There we go. So, yes, looks really nice, put some cool color in there. Painted half of that part silver on the bottom on that grip, and then it's a wider clip, as you can see. Oh, don't fall. And then I painted the back brown, like a dark brown, kind of like a wooden stock, but it's kind of hard to tell, but it is there. And then I got the red tip on the end, and then you can see the yellow on either side. So really cool gun. I really do like it. It's not your normal clone gun. I mean, it's not very far off. This is theirs. This is my clone gun. Pretty similar, but different enough to be epic in its own right. There's the other half. How I left that all black. I painted that one silver. So I think it's a really cool gun. Really cool figure. I will be putting this guy on eBay, so probably get that up there today. Yeah, if you guys and girls, if you like this video and you like this clone, please hitchhike it. Tell your friends, tell your family, go watch it, go check it out. If you could hit the subscribe button up here, it would help me out a whole lot. And don't forget, if you're the first person to leave a comment on my video, I will give you a shout out up in here. And then if you have content on your channel, I'll put a link to it so people can go check out your stuff. Don't forget that the Heavy Gunner contest will be ending at the end of this month. Don't worry if you need a little bit extra time because you're almost done your figure. I will show you some mercy and do that because I want to see your figures, and you know, if it takes you a couple extra days to get it done, then so be it. Get them done, and I'd love to check them out. So if you do have more and you don't see them in the playlist and you have your video up, just send me a message letting me know, and then I will go check out your video, put it in the playlist, and it'll be good to go. Alrighty, so thank you so much for watching. God bless. I will see y'all later. Take care.